African Human Rights Commission is investigating Emfuleni Mayor Simon Mofokeng. He's been accused of sexually grooming a 14-year-old girl. The relationship with the girl became public when he apparently shared semi-nude photos of her on a WhatsApp group. The Commission's communications coordinator, Gershwell Brooks, joins us now in studio. Gershwell, good to have you with us, but over such a worrying story, what do you understand the allegations to be at this stage?
Good afternoon to you, Jay. Well, initially what emerged was that the allegation initially was that Emfuleni Mayor, Mr. Simon Mofokeng, shared the semi-nude photos of a 14-year-old who's a minor to a WhatsApp group. Obviously from there then he was put on special leave. We understand the criminal charges have also been pressed. But since then, a number of young women as well as young girls have come forward and said that this is not the first time that this has happened and that sexual grooming is something that he has initiated on. In fact, there was a story in the media that came out over the weekend, very disturbing, of a 28-year-old young lady who said that she was also picked up by him at the age of 14. She was taken to nightclubs and pubs and all kinds of other inappropriate places for a minor. She claims that he impregnated her, that he doesn't want anything to do with this child, and that she blames him and she feels that he's ruined her life.
Has he responded to these allegations?
Well, in as much as what his response has been to the allegations, that is not really of concern to the Commission at this stage. What the Commission is concerned with is that children's rights have been violated as set out in Section 28, specifically the right not to be abused, the right not to be harmed, the right not to be exposed to these types of things. Apart from that, I mean, let alone the fact that this is a criminal act. The grooming of minors for sexual activity is specifically legislated against in the Sexual Offences Act and Other Matters Act. So surely under those circumstances we need to act.
Gershwell, just explain to me the nature of this investigation now, because it's a very sensitive one indeed. Do you work closely with the police on this kind of allegation?
So what the issue is that the police will obviously take care of the criminal aspect of that, so bring the criminal charges, and this is also a new matter that the Commission has entered. So obviously the scope and the nature of the investigation, what the full role of the Commission is going to be, is yet to be determined. But it is an own initiative investigation. It's not as if someone had approached us with a complaint. We are rather initiating an investigation in this particular instance, and we'll take the requisite action.
See, I find that a very important and interesting choice. Why have you decided to act on this particular allegation?
Look, I think to create context as well is that we have a serious problem with sexual violence, especially against women and children in South Africa. And it's something that obviously bothers the South African Human Rights Commission to a great extent. In fact, our Commissioner Andrew Makwetla, who's in charge of children's rights, is very disturbed and very upset by this particular case. And obviously that is why there was a specific call to look into this matter. But apart from that, Jane, I think that we also need to put it into another context. We have a powerful individual that's specifically tasked as a public figure to look after the interests of the child. He works for the state. He is probably one of the few people that people will interact with. It's a state representative, and he has a very fundamental responsibility in the protection of children and their rights. And something needs to happen in this, and that is why the Commission in this particular instance says that if found guilty, obviously due process needs to occur, that he needs to be imprisoned, he needs to be placed on the sexual offenders list rather, and that we have him as an example and as a deterrent to other men that want to embark on this type of activity.
Very important role you're playing here. Thank you so much for coming in to talk to us this afternoon. Gershwell Brooks from the South African Human Rights Commission speaking to us about the Commission's involvement in this latest case of a mayor accused of being a sex pest.